doing Orange Pill podcast was a really cool experience. And I got to meet all these cool Bitcoiners and so I've been doing political vigilante for 7 years now. I started it in January 2nd of 2017. And to Bobby's questions here, do you notice a difference between your depression level, whether you are in or outside the US? Well, I've been back to the US for 3 weeks now. And there's some cool stuff to be back, and LA's got some cool stuff to do, and I've gotten to do a lot of shows and see Ron Placone and other people, and I did a show last night that was really fun. And but I'm not going to just talk. I can't talk politics that much anymore because it's just too depressing in America. And to talk about my depression level, when I was in El Salvador for 2 months, every day I was talking Bitcoin, where it's largely positive news. Bitcoiners are positive. What's going on in El Salvador is positive. I was interviewing all these people every week that were like, we're doing this great stuff and this stuff and that stuff. And, everyone's talking like, yeah. And I come back here and it's, it's a little tough. I'm not going to lie. The homeless epidemic, as Omar is pointing out, is bad here. I mean, a friend of mine came to my apartment last night, and then he and I drove to my show. I was doing a show up in Simi Valley. And he literally told me, as he pulled up and parked in front of and I live in a nice building, in a decent part of town, that a homeless woman just literally started taking a shit right in front of his car as he was parking. It was just like, and epidemic, the homeless epidemic is just, it's out of control. Now, Karen Bass, the mayor of LA, has tried, she's cleaned up certain streets and stuff like that, which that's kind of noticeable. But the question is, where are these homeless people going? Is she just scooping them up and putting them on a bus and sending them somewhere else? Or are they getting actual housing and drug treatment and job training and what they should be getting in the richest country in the history of the world? So, my mood was really good in El Salvador. I drove to Santa City. The studio was really nice. And I would talk Bitcoin with either Max or, we'd have guests on. I interviewed the Minister of Education, and he's telling me about all the positive things that are happening in that country. And everyone I interviewed was like positive. And, when I talk about regular talk about the political system in America, it's like, oh my God, it's Trump versus Biden again. These two old assholes are running against, like, who? Oh my God. 330 million people. These are the two best guys we got. These are the two best guys we got. And so, yeah. And so to BTC Moon Guy's question, yeah, I want to, I want to move to El Salvador full time. Yeah. I looked super happy and relaxed. I was surfing 3 days a week. I mean, I haven't surfed since I've been back here because it's cold. The water's 59 degrees here. The water in El Salvador is 85 degrees. And I've got a wetsuit and booties and all that, but it's like, it's gray and cloudy right now. And it's just like, summer in Southern California is always nice. The weather will be nice and I'll be surfing a lot, but man, like I loved living down there. And so I'm looking at, I'm talking to a bunch of different people I met down there, and I'm trying to find investors for certain projects, and I'll be back down there at some point.